Hi, everybody. Just setting up here. Just waiting for some viewers here to pop up. Well, I guess until we get a viewer of some sort, I guess I can just put this Batman in your face. Anybody gonna join? Okay, I'll give it one more minute here. If nobody joins, then they can just watch the playback. Well, I guess people can just watch the playback because nobody's gonna be watching, I guess. Alright, so welcome everybody to the playback or whatever you're watching if you're watching live. This is my 100 subscribers special. Now, this is a live stream. I will be uploading this as a video eventually. And so, yeah. So, I just want to thank every single one of you for subscribing and liking and commenting and even just, wow. I didn't even expect to get 100 subscribers. I thought this channel was just going to be another one of those channels where people just don't care about it. And I just want to say thank you a lot to every single person out there who subscribed. If it's Damien, um, if it's Marcella, 8-Bit Gamer, which is Perplux now, um, Mime Over Matter, James Alexander, J4M35, and a lot of people have subscribed. So thank you so much for all these subscribers. And actually, in the middle of this journey, I actually thought about quitting YouTube, but ever since I've gotten all these subscribers and comments and likes and uh, anything, I've actually decided to continue my journey to get to 100. My next goal is to get to 200 subscribers. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it all. I appreciate all the support and thank you for making this channel possible. So without further ado, let's get into what we're talking about today. We're talking about the 1991 Kenner Robin Hood Prince of Thieves toy line. So why the Prince of Thieves toy line? I really like this toy line. It's one of my favorite toy lines of all time. And if you've been looking at my community post, I kept posting stuff about the toy line. And once I got the toy line complete, I'd make a video on it, which I am right now. And I just really like the toy line. I love the movie. It stars Kevin Costner as Robin Hood, Morgan Freeman as Azim, Christian Slater as Will Scarlet, and Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham. And it's a really good movie. I've always liked the Robin Hood story because it's this explains poor, rich people and the return of a king, which a fighter is fighting until the king comes back. And it's just a really good story. I recommend the J. Walker McSpaden book because that's the best one in my opinion. And actually, the Prince of Thieves movie ain't my favorite Robin Hood movie. My favorite Robin Hood movie is the Errol Flynn one from 1938. But I could go on and on and on about the movies and the shows and the toys, but we're gonna just focus on the toys now. So, without further ado, let's start out. So I'm not gonna start out with the Robin Hood, like his character yet. I'm gonna start out with his merryman, then go to Robin Hood, and then go to the bad guys, and then I'll go to the playset. Now I will say my toy line is not complete at all. I am missing the bullet bomber, the net launcher, and the battle wagon. But I want to give credit to where it's due. I wouldn't have discovered this toy line if it wasn't for uh, a video that I saw about it. I always knew that there was some kind of Robin Hood toy because I actually had the Robin Hood, but I lost it. But I wouldn't have discovered that about this much about the toy line if it wasn't for videos that I saw from Spectre Creative, um, Mime Over Matter, and a whole bunch of YouTubers. Oh, Trigerium Hanger. A lot of people turned me on to this toy line. So here we go. Let's start out with our first figure, which is Little John. Little John's an awesome figure, classic Kenner figure. I mean, his likeness to the actor isn't too good, but you can tell who he's supposed to be. He has a wild man beard, haircut, he's going sleeveless, and he has this huge battle staff or quarter staff, according to the Kenner box. But my Little John is complete. He has all of his clothes. This was something about the toy line that was awesome. That all the figures include some sort of clothes or clothing. He has this like ring thing. He has this like tunic, and he has these leg coverings. And there's this action figure stands that I bought for these figures. So they're not included if you buy the figures. So I just want to point that out. That's Little John. Stand up. All right. Next figure we're going to go with is Friar Tuck. You can't have a Robin Hood toy line without Friar Tuck. He's a really cool figure. He is actually, all of these figures have something in common. They all share pieces from some other figure. And Friar Tuck is a reuse of the Gamorrean guard body. And I know there's a lot of pictures and stuff on the internet. I'm not going to take my Friar Tuck's clothes off because I don't want to risk not being able to put his clothes back on. But anyways, his face likeness is a really good likeness to the actor, and just the overall figure is really cool. He comes with a shepherd's hook, and so yeah, that's Friar Tuck. Next figure we'll be looking at is Azim. Now, I will have to say, my Azim is not complete. He's missing his scimitar, but I found a sword that does look like a scimitar. And he holds on to it really well. Now, Azim was played by Morgan Freeman in the movie. And of course, the figure has to look like Morgan Freeman. So he has a removable headdress, and there's that Morgan Freeman face. That is definitely Morgan Freeman. That's spot on Morgan Freeman. You know, he's a really good figure. All these figures have 5 points of articulation, I forgot to point out. Head, arms, and legs. And he just looks really good. So yeah, that is Azim the Great One. Did you give yourself that title? Next figure we're going to be looking at is Will Scarlet. He was played by Christian Slater in the movie. His face is a tad bit Christian Slater, but not really, in my opinion. He looks pretty cool looking. He has the crossbow, even includes some arrows. And this crossbow is really cool because if you load the crossbow, you can actually fire it. Now, there's no like spring mechanism or anything that makes it fire. You just basically like have to flick it. If you saw that fire, if you didn't, I'm sorry. But anyway, that's this figure is a really cool one, and that's Will Scarlet. All right. So since we looked at all Robin Hood's merry men, why don't we look at Robin Hood himself? Now I'll start out with the variant of him because there's 2 Robin Hood figures out of the whole entire toy line. So here is Crossbow Robin Hood. Crossbow Robin Hood's a really good one. He looks almost movie accurate. So both figures don't really look that movie accurate, but this one is the most movie accurate. He has a crossbow just like Will Scarlet's. He doesn't have any additional bolts. And I should point out that this arrow is more shorter than the arrows that are included with Will Scarlet. That's weird. But he comes with the same exact crossbow. And he looks really good. He comes with a cloak. And you can even put the cloak over his head. So that is really nice. That is Crossbow Robin Hood. Now I'm going to set him over here for a second. Stand up. Alright, anyway. Next figure we have is Longbow Robin Hood. Let me get his longbow in his hand. There's Longbow Robin Hood. Longbow Robin Hood's a really good one. This is the normal Robin Hood from the toy line. He wears the green. He has the bow, and he has the arrows. So this figure looks, I forgot to say, the Robin Hood figures look exactly like Kevin Costner. I mean, look at that likeness to the face. That's totally Kevin Costner. Anyway, he has the bow, and you take the arrow and you load it, and you pull back on the string, and it fires. So that is a really cool mechanism, and that is the Robin Hood figure. Now, something very interesting about this. So, the Kevin Costner heads were actually released second. They're the second release of the Robin Hood figures, the Kevin Costner heads. The actual first release. Now get ready for this. Now I have the crossbow variant, but I don't have the longbow variant because the longbow variant is hard to find. But you see how this one has a Kevin Costner head? Wow, be surprised. There's a head variant, and this one does not look like Kevin Costner. He has the same crossbow. Here's them side by. Let me take their crossbows. Lower them. Here's them side by side. As you can see, one looks like Kevin Costner, the other one doesn't. This one looks more like Errol Flynn from the other Robin Hood movies that I was talking about. So that was the word of Robin Hood figures. Now we have to go on to the bad guys from this toy line. So I guess we can start out with the Sheriff of Nottingham. Now the Sheriff of Nottingham was played by Alan Rickman in the movie. And this figure does not look like Alan Rickman, in my opinion. And there's a reason for that. Remember when I said that there's a lot of reuse for this toy line? Well, won't you be surprised? They took a random thug called Chainsaw from the RoboCop toy line and made his head into the Sheriff of Nottingham. So that's probably why he does not look like Alan Rickman. Of course, he has a shiny cape that looks nice. He has the medallion, and he's the only figure that includes a sword. Now, I actually have two sheriffs, one from childhood and one that I ordered off eBay. So that was the sheriff, and the only other bad guy there is, because there's only two bad guys in this toy line. This is the Dark Warrior. The Dark Warrior was supposed to be like an army builder for this toy line, which that didn't really, like, who kid is going to buy multiple of these? Anyway, my Dark Warrior is not complete. He's supposed to have a helmet and a dagger, but I don't have that. And at least he has his pike bow. His pike's really huge. He has this cool tunic that's made out of the same material as the sheriff's cape. And we can't compare him to anybody from this particular movie because he doesn't look like anybody from the movie. I actually, as well, have two of these, just like how I have two sheriffs. Like again, one from childhood and one that I ordered off eBay. So those were all the figures from the toy line. Now we shall look at let me move it out of the way, all these figures. Then we can look. Now we must look at this thing. The Sherwood Forest playset. Yes, this huge playset. Now you might recognize this playset from something else. And it's the Ewok Village playset, but they repurposed it to be a Robin Hood. So the only additional thing is these treetops, which I bet could fit on the Ewok Village, but I don't have the actual original Ewok Village. I'm trying to fix this treetop here. Sorry about that. I don't have the original Ewok Village, so I can't really show you that. They added some stuff to it, though. Well, mine wasn't complete, but I actually added some stuff so it would be complete. Like a spit here that didn't have the spit before. And I made a little fire to go under the spit. And I made an elevator because mine didn't have an elevator. It still has the boulder, it still has the crossbows on it, but the crossbows aren't complete either because my because I don't have the arrows that goes with them. Now, for comparison, here's a figure compared to it. Let's put all the Robin Hoods up here, because I want to tell you that this is very roomy on top here. You can fit all of the figures that you want on here. Let's check this out. You can fit everybody on here. Like this. Ta-da! You can put the figures up here. And there's a little chute hole which the figures will fall down and go out here. I think that's cool. So yeah. So that was my 100 subscriber special on YouTube on the Kenner Robin Hood Prince of Thieves toy line. I hope you liked this video. And I just want to personally thank every single one of you for subscribing to my channel and keeping this channel going. I hope you guys like this. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get to 200 subscribers. #AwesomeToyGeek in the comments. Thank you. Bye.